So with that, I will introduce our first speaker, my colleague, and also co-organizer of this evening, also a member, like myself, of GetEQUAL and Queer Rising, Robert Moore, who is also the Assistant Vice President of Affirmation, which is a gay and lesbian Mormon group.
Like Kristen said, my name is Robert Moore, and I would like to share why Operation Shine and why events like this are so important to me, and why I'm an advocate and speak for better and more funding. When I was a teenager, I was raised Mormon, and when I was a teenager, when my family found out that I was gay, they kicked me out and said that I was no longer welcome in their house and I was no longer welcome in their family. So I moved to Salem to move in with my sister, who was already estrayed from the family, and spent a couple months in their house, and then decided to come out to my sister. And she was like, I'm okay with it, but do not tell my fiance. He was really religious, not Mormon, but in another really religious background. And so I was like, okay, I ain't gonna tell him. And she promised not to tell him either. Well, a week later she told him. And while I'm in my room, I hear his response of, next time I see him, he's dead. And she was like, oh, calm down, it's not a big deal. And he's like, no, that is not happening in my house. Next time I see him, he's dead. He's not making it out of this house. So what did I do? I grabbed my duffel bag, threw some clothes in there, and jumped out the window. It was first floor, so nothing drastic. So I had a little bit of money, about $50, jumped on the Greyhound bus from Salem, Oregon, and took the bus to Portland, Oregon, where I was homeless, living on the streets for about 3 months. I haven't had any contact with my family since. They have not tried to reach out to me, and that's where it stands with my family. So in Affirmation, my role as Assistant Vice President is to advocate for homeless youth who have been kicked out by their Mormon families, and the church has actually told parents, if they do not go through repetitive therapy, you need to get the disease out of the family because they will infect the other children. So the church is actually telling parents to kick out their youth. So my role is to advocate for youth and educate the Mormon parents who want nothing but the best for their children, that by doing this, they are putting their children at risk for so many things that I know as loving parents that they do not want their children to go through. So survival sex, drug use, alcoholism, and so many other things that I myself had to do to live on the streets. One time, my second night in Portland, I was actually sleeping on the side of the building, and a guy was walking by, and we started talking, and it was raining, and there was like some street fair or something happening. But we talked for a little bit, and I told him my story, and he was like, oh, you can crash on my couch. So I was like, okay, fine, whatever. Seemed innocent enough to me. Got to his house, and then the story became, well, I don't allow anybody to sleep on my couch because the couch gets dirty and nasty. So you have to, if you want to stay here, you have to sleep in my bed. So I was like, okay, whatever, I can like push off any like advances. Then it became, oh, well, you're not allowed to sleep in any clothes in my bed. I sleep naked, and anybody who is my bed does also. So not wanting to go back out into the rain, I disrobed and got back into bed. And then not even a few minutes later, like, he was raping me. And so many youth, this is what they have to face. Just for a place to sleep or for food. They have to do things and get into situations that they don't know what the outcome is going to be like. And we need more places like Sylvia's place for places for youth to go, to be in off the streets, and to have a bed and food and a support network. So I would just like to invite everybody else, if you feel inspired, to come up and share your story. And we are recording, just to let you know, but if you do not want your story recorded, you can let us know before you start speaking, and we will turn the camera off. And we will ask everybody not to take notes of anything if there's any press here. So I will give it back to Kristen. And thank you.